Chipotle shares are under a little bit of pressure following a mixed fourth quarter earnings report last night, but the burrito giant did say sales have picked up nicely since the quarter ended. Chipotle CFO Jack Hartung joins us now. Jack, always good to speak with you here. Let's start with the sales trends quarter to date, because just judging by the market reaction this morning, maybe investors didn't see that little line you put in your earnings release last night.
Yeah, I hope that's what it is, Brian. But listen, we're really pleased with how we finished the year, finished the quarter. And then importantly, we think we're really pleased with how we started the first quarter. The quarter was relatively choppy, especially at the end of the quarter, as a lot of the individual markets had pulled back because of COVID. But we saw a nice surge in sales, right around the Christmas holiday. It stepped up again as we introduced cauliflower rice in January, and they've held up really nicely so far in January. So it gives us great optimism for where our sales and our results go in 2021.
Hey, Jack, it's Julie here. It looks like the street was a little bit disappointed by that earnings number in particular, even as sales are continuing to be strong. And I know part of what pressured your bottom line in 2020 was what was going on with worker expenses, health expenses, et cetera. What does that look like going into 2021? Because I know you guys are still going to be doing a lot of hiring, for example.
Yeah, listen, we feel really good about our ability to drive margin. Our priority during this year, and this will continue, is to make sure we take care of our employees, make sure they're healthy, make sure they still have a job, make sure that we still do things like support their education, support their health, things like that. We also want to make sure that we take care of our customers. Those were our priorities. And then our third priority would be, let's find reasons, additional reasons to bring our customers, into Chipotle more often through our digital platforms, through things like cauliflower rice, bringing back carne asada. We know from a margin standpoint, in terms of pressure from labor costs and some of the costs that were specifically related to COVID this year, we know those are cyclical. Those aren't part of our permanent model. So we can manage through those. And we expect that as we move forward in 2021 and as the vaccines take hold and as people feel more at liberty to go out and about, a lot of those costs are going to go away, and as long as our revenue keeps, rising, and we're confident that it will, and we've got a number of things to continue to attract customers, we're confident that those cost pressures will ease. We've got a number of levers that we can pull, and we're optimistic about, returning to really strong margins as the year unfolds.
And Jack, just to get a little more color around your hiring push, you guys have, I believe, almost 88,000 employees. You're trying to reach a goal of hiring 15,000 more, and you guys held a hiring event in January to that effect. How is that push going? Where are you finding these workers from? Is it people, for example, whose former workplaces have closed in the restaurant industry? And what is pay looking like for these incoming workers?
Yeah, listen, it's going really well. Our goal was to hire 15,000 people. We're well on our way to that goal. We're still in the process of interviewing. We had many more resumes. We had resumes that were multiples of the 15,000. And, we're fortunate that, people view us as having a strong employment proposition. When they look at Chipotle, they look at us not as just an hourly wage. They look at us as a potential career. When we're opening up, we mentioned we're going to open up 200 restaurants this year. We have the ability to double the number of restaurants we've got. So for a prospective employee, that means they can come in for a job today, develop into a manager tomorrow, and then continuing to move up the ladder. We'll also invest in their education as well. So when we hire somebody, we're not talking about just hiring them for a task and hiring them for an hourly wage. We're talking about a career potential, working for a company that's got a lot of growth, and working for a company that has strong values and really works towards a long-term purpose. And that's an appealing proposition for employees. In terms of wages are always going to have upward pressure. We always pay well above minimum wage. We will pay at or above what the market is paying at that time. And so that's already built into our model. So that's something that our model can handle. And we just know that if we hire great people that really believe in our purpose and want to develop in their careers, they're going to be a great employee for a long time to come.
Jack, I wanted to ask a bit about the Chipotle model and how much outperformance you're seeing there versus stores that don't have that. And I'm curious if you've thought about or broken down how much of that better performance from the Chipotle stores is due to the pandemic. I know about 70% of new stores you build this year are going to have a Chipotle. Is that something you see as the baseline concept when you're looking at a location going forward?
Yeah, we do. Brian, a year and a half ago, we would get a Chipotle if a landlord was open to it, and more often than not, we would not get a Chipotle. The landlord would. We're usually in a multi-tenant building, and they don't love the idea of bumping out a window and having traffic revolve around that site to accommodate our Chipotle. But now it's turned into we expect a Chipotle, and so we're confident that we'll be over 70% this year. And the ones that don't have a Chipotle, they're going to be more urban locations or inline locations where you just can't get it done. So it's going to be the base. It's going to be the core of what we do going forward. Chipotlanes were outperforming our non-Chipotlanes even before the pandemic. The pandemic certainly has made it even more attractive for our customers. It's more convenient. It's more touchless. They can have the convenience of digital without getting out of their car. And so it's been a big hit, but we expect it'll continue to thrive even after the pandemic. And the beauty of the Chipotlane is you still get the great food at Chipotle that you crave. And, customers come to Chipotle because of our food ethos. It's real cooking, it's real wholesome ingredients, and they really crave the taste of our food. Then you add on the convenience of Chipotlane, and we really see Chipotlane as a format that's here to stay and will continue to thrive well beyond the pandemic.
Jack, you mentioned on the earnings call last night that Chipotle raised prices on delivery orders by 13%. That's a big number. Why did you take that action? And are you seeing anything in the business that would suggest that you can even take it higher than that?
Yeah, listen, Brian, it's no surprise that delivery comes with an added cost. And our belief has been that's a premium experience from a convenience standpoint. And we want to make sure that channel covers the cost. If you look at ordering in our app, we raised the prices 13% in our app. We also lowered, before the pandemic, we were charging a $3 delivery fee. We lowered that to $1. So if you're ordering in our app before the pandemic and now you're ordering delivery through our app, the increase for you is a 2 or 3%. It's a very, very modest increase. So, but the 13%, Brian, all it does is it allows us to cover most of our costs in delivery. So if you want that channel, if you want the convenience, and what we found is most customers, when they want delivery, they're willing to pay that extra amount. So we've seen, relatively modest resistance so far. In terms of pricing going beyond this, I think in the delivery channel, I do think there is additional pricing, potential there. What we found is when you raise prices, and we experimented with different levels of pricing, when people decide they want that channel, they're willing to pay a higher price. And I don't think we've reached the limit there. And listen, we'll continue to experiment. We're not going to go crazy, on pricing just because we think we can. But we'll try to understand when and where customers want that channel and how much they're willing to pay, and we'll act accordingly.
All right, Chipotle CFO Jack Hartung, always good to speak with you. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.